good evening everyone. How you all? I hope you all are fit and fine. You know that this is your chemistry class. I am sending you a video and on Monday we will discuss your problems in the Zoom class. Okay? We have started our chapter atomic structure. Right? So till now we have done atoms and molecules. First I will tell you some briefly about atoms and molecules, a quick recap of the last topic. So what is an atom? Atom is the smallest particle of an element that have all the properties of the element, right? So atom is the smallest particle that is formed of protons, neutrons and electrons, right? Then molecule. Molecule is also smallest particle of an element or a compound, right? It is the smallest particle of an element or a compound that have all the properties of the element or the compound, right? For example, we have how many elements in the periodic table? 118 elements in the periodic table. Molecule, like for example H2, right, O2, right, they all are molecules because they are formed of the combination of elements, right? So they are called molecules. Now we will start new topic of the chapter, that is radical. First, in simple word, what is a radical? It is just like a atom. It is just like a atom, but it contains a charge. It may be a positive charge, it may be a negative charge. So a radical is made of one atom or group of atoms that carry a charge, right? That carry a charge is called radical, right? For example, simple example, we have potassium, right? We have potassium, we have sodium, we have chlorine, right? Charge on potassium is positive, sodium is also positive, chlorine is negative, right? So now these atoms are called radicals. Why? Because they contain some charge. If they don't contain any charge, that means they are simple atoms, right? But now they are containing charge, so the atoms change into radicals. Radicals means they could contain a charge. It may be a positive charge, it may be a negative charge, right? Clear? Now we'll do some properties or characteristics of radicals. Now when an atom loses an electron, I told you in the last class too, when an atom, as you know that every atom contains protons, neutrons and electrons, right? Protons, neutrons and electrons. Protons are positive charge, neutrons have no charge, electrons have negative charge, right? When an atom loses its electron, electrons are present around the nucleus of an atom, right? So when an atom loses its electron, if it is having extra electron, बहुत सारे electron उसके पास, तो he can lose one or two electrons, right? When he is losing means he is giving his electron to someone, right? So it acquires a positive charge. So it acquires a positive charge, and this element when acquires a positive charge, it becomes a cation, right? Next, when an atom gains electrons, means now he is the losing electron, another atom gains the electron, right? Then it become negative. That element is called anion, or that radical is called anion. Here they have positive charge, so they are called cation. This one is having negative charge, this is called anion. Clear? Now for example, sodium atom. Sodium atom contain how many protons? 11. So its atomic number is 11. As you know that atomic number depend upon the number of protons. So if 11 it is atomic number, that means it contains same number of protons and same numbers of electrons. That means atomic number is equal to number of electrons equals to number of protons. These three are equal to one another. Atomic number equals to number of electrons equals to number of protons, right? Now sodium atom is having 11 electrons, right? 11. Detail is not there, just a brief introduction I am giving it to you. Sodium atom is having 11 electrons, right? So 11 electrons, he is having 1 electron in the outermost shell. Okay, I'll just explain it to you. What do you mean by outermost shells or orbits, right? As I told you, sodium is having atomic number 11, right? I am drawing the diagram of the atom of the sodium. So this is the nucleus. Nucleus contains protons and neutrons. Here its atomic number is 11. That means he is containing how many protons? 11 protons. And how many electrons? 11 electrons, right? So there is a formula, right? There is a formula that you will study in the higher classes, right? According to that formula, first we have orbits. Orbits are the paths around which the electrons are revolving. Electrons move on these paths around the nucleus, right? First shell, this is the nucleus, this is the first shell, right? This is the second, this is the third. The maximum capacity of first shell is having, it contain only 2 electrons. And second shell contain 8 electrons. Third shell contain 8 electrons. Fourth shell contain 18 electrons. Right? This is the capacity of the orbits. Right? If sodium is having 11 electrons, now we have to divide these electrons in the shells. Right? That means if sodium is having 11 electrons, 2 electrons will go in the first shell. Now how many are left? 11 minus 2. How many are left? 9 are left. Now 8 electron, second orbit's capacity is 8 electron. Now 8 electron will go in the third shell. And how much remains now? Only 1 electron is left. 8 plus 2, 10. Only 1 is left. So 1 will go in the third shell. Right? And every element follows an octet rule. Octet rule means they must have 8 electrons in the orbit. Now this middle shell contain 8 electrons. Now that means it is having maximum electrons, right? So he is having 1 electron extra, right? So he can donate its 1 electron to other element. If it is donating its 1 electron, then it contain how much charge? 1 positive, because he is donating 1 electron. One more example, magnesium. Its atomic number is 12. Number of protons is 12. Number of electrons is 12. So 2 electrons will go in the first shell. 8 electrons will go in the second shell. And how many are left? Now 2 electrons are left. They will go in the third shell. Now as I told you, their octet should be filled. Now it's their shell should be filled. Now as you can see that first shell is filled because its capacity is only 2. Second shell is filled because its capacity is 8. Now how many extra are left? 2 electrons. So magnesium can donate 2 electrons to other elements. So it contains 2 positive. Right? Now I am giving you example about negative radicals. So calcium. Right? We'll take example of chlorine first. Right? Chlorine. Atomic number 17. Right? So first shell, second shell, third shell. Now first shell contain 2 electrons. Then 8 are there. Then how many are left? 7. So 17, 2 plus 8, 10 plus 7. Now this shell is complete, this shell is complete. Now he can donate 7 electron or he can accept 1 electron. So if he is donating 7 electron, that means he has to use lots of energy. उसको बहुत एनर्जी देनी पड़ेगी 7 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को निकालने के लिए. तो इसकी वजह से क्या करता है, वो 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन किसी से ले लेता है. ठीक है. If he is taking 8 electron, now they become, here it become 8. So he is taking the 1 electron from other elements. So its charge is -1. Right? Clear? Okay, now back to our topic again that I have explained. Positively charged are called cation and negatively charged are called anion. I have given you an example, right? Next part is that a positive ions combine with the negative ion. Okay, whenever a positive ion, for example sodium chloride, sodium positive, chlorine is negative. Now when a cation is combining with the anion, they form what type of compound? Ionic compound, because they are ions, so they form ionic compound. They will form ionic compound. Example, sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, calcium carbonate, right? Next thing, molecule exists as a group of atoms with a charge called polyatomic ions. When molecule exists as group of atoms with a charge, they are called polyatomic ions. For example, SO4 2 negative. 2 negative means S is also 2 negative, oxygen is also negative. So it is called polyatomic ion because it contains number of ions, polyatomic ions, right? So we will do radicals in today's class, right? If you have any problem, we will discuss it on Monday, right? And next part of the chapter we will do in the next class. Thank you so much.